It's the start of the week 8 in the FTC DECODE season, and it's time to come up with a plan for the week. It's not good enough to say this works in CAD. It's not good enough to say it works in code. You have to make sure things are actually working in real life, because real life is messy. I'm Coach Pratt, and I've been teaching robotics design for over a decade now, and I've mentored FTC teams to national championship wins in the Benelux region. And today, I'm going to give you my step-by-step plan for what your build team, your programming team, and your outreach team should be focusing on for week 8 in this season. So let's take a look. Overall, the main goal for week 8 should be the final assembly and integration of all of your components for your first competition robot. So your build team should be focusing on all those founding mechanisms. If they weren't finished being built in week 7, they should be finished in week 8 by the end of this week. You should have all those modular designs that should be built up. They should be hopefully printed or laser cut or CNC'd out of some more robust materials, because I think there's going to be a lot of defense being played this season, and you're probably going to have to make robots that are a little bit more robust for your first competition. Your robot should also be electrically completed by the end of this week. So that means your wiring is done. Don't leave wiring as this kind of afterthought. Lots of teams think that their electrical system just needs to be there and it's good enough. But you really want to be thinking about wire management. If you have extension mechanisms, if you have turning mechanisms, things like these are all places where wires can get cut, they can get caught, and then they can potentially wreak some havoc on your sensors, your servos, and some unreliable things like that. If you want a full video on how I talk about how you can mitigate some issues with ESD, take a link in the description down below. You're probably going to have more differential charge events happening this season than in others. So being able to protect yourself from other robots is likely a good idea. Now, you want to try to have, by the end of week 8, have your chassis fully done, your drivetrain. Well, your drivetrain should be done a long time ago, but you should have a finished robot by the end of this week that you can then hand off to your programming team. And hopefully you've been building individual designs, handing them off, individual designs, handing them off. So your programming team could already have time working on this. Because if you don't finish something now, you're not going to give your programmers enough time to really make sure that these systems are reliable. And you're not going to give your drive team enough time to actually be able to fully practice this out. For your programming team this week, this is a good time to help support your build team to make sure that it is fully supported for you. As they are, and hopefully they'd be designing modularly, so as they finish their intake, it should be sent off to you. As they finish the flywheel, it should be sent off to you. As they are finishing that transfer mechanism, it should be sent off to you so that you can run your boilerplate code and test to make sure that it works. Likely your boilerplate code isn't running as you would expect because it is a rough draft and a rough idea on where things need to go. So now's the time to start doing some actual tests. You want to do reliability tests. Remember, robots are robots because they're consistent. And consistent mechanisms end up winning. Reliable mechanisms end up winning. You want to be testing your designs 10, 20, 30, 40, hundreds times, 100 times before you actually get out onto that field. So you know if something is going to break, you know where things break, you know where things break down, and so on. And you want to keep keeping track of these data logs. You have to write it down. As Adam Savage said, remember kids, the only difference between science and screwing around is writing it down. From Professor's fame, so make sure you are writing down your tests. And I cannot say this enough, testing does not start until the wheels are on. That's where the real testing actually begins. It's not good enough to say this works in CAD. It's not good enough to say it works in code. You have to make sure things are actually working in real life, because real life is messy. For your outreach team, now's a good time to start actually drafting some of that main content. You should be roughly about 60% of your engineering portfolio around this time, because you're about 60, 70-ish% done the season, or at least done the season for your first competition at this point. So you want to make sure you've got that main idea set up for your engineering portfolio. You should do a short write-up for all major activities you've done, especially on your outreach side. And hopefully you can take some pretty detailed notes. So now's a good time to look back at that. This is also a good time. What I suggest in your engineering portfolio is to start breaking up by awards. You get 14 pages, 15 plus a cover page, and you have 6 awards that you can, 7 awards now you could shoot for. So if you get 14 pages, that's enough for about 2-ish pages per award by the time it's all said and done. So that would be a pretty good judge for you. And I recommend you set your portfolio up in the award order because it makes it really easy for judges to go through and say, oh, here's my Think Awards section. Oh, here's my Sustain Awards section. Oh, here's my Connect Awards section. That makes your life really, really easy to be able to maintain those and get up together. So try to have some rough drafts set up for your engineering portfolio and then start looking at how you might want to actually lay this out visually as well. So you should be roughing some content and starting to get some different kind of design UI points. So the real goal for the end of the week here is making sure your full robot is assembled so your programmers have sufficient time in the next few weeks to make sure that things work out as you'd expect. If you want some more tutorials and resources on programming and CAD and robotics and some one-on-one Q&As with myself, you can consider joining the robotics community down below. Otherwise, best of luck out there this season.